Welcome to This Daring Adventure podcast, where we work on bridging the gap between where we are and where we want to be in order to live a bigger and bolder life. In this podcast, we will provide inspiration, tips, and skills you need to make your life the adventure you want it to be. Here's your host, mindset mentor, and life coach, Trista Gurton.
Hey everybody, welcome to This Daring Adventure. I think I have to double check, but I think this is episode 140. Plus I have all these other sort of bonus episodes and mini episodes, but 140. Come on. It's amazing. So we are just about to finish up October. We are busy watching the World Series. Go Blue Jays. And I am offering free coaching sessions. I, in the past, have offered free 1-hour coaching sessions for anybody who wants to try it. I did that for several years. I stopped, but I am back to offering that again. I love the opportunity to give people the chance to try coaching. And I think it's important to get a taste of it and see what goes on, my style, what I teach, other than obviously what goes on in these podcasts and my emails and whatnot. But it is an opportunity to invest some time and get a little bit of a shift, a little bit of a transformation. You can bring any issue that you wish. We talk, I ask questions. And I truly believe that an hour is plenty of time. It's a lot of time to tackle an issue, for you to gain a different perspective and to make those shifts, which the shifts I say are always a little bit of a level up. That's what I feel when I get coached and I'm tackling a subject. I always feel like I make a little bit of shift. I can feel that progress. I can feel that movement up and forward. And it can be very powerful. And obviously, each session is different. Each person is different. So, your experience may be slightly different, but these sessions are powerful. The coaching is powerful. It works. And if you have something that you're working through or working on, it doesn't have to be a problem. We solve a lot of problems in coaching, but if you have a goal, if there's something that you want to create, something that you want to achieve, coaching is the best place to do that work. I was doing a free session this morning with a client, and she was talking about how she gets some support from her friends and her family and her parents and her partner and whatnot. But they're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Sometimes they're not sold on the ideas that she's talking about. And she really feels their negativity and can get triggered by it. And she just feels sort of dragged backwards at times by them. And I understand. I have always been very fortunate in having support from friends and family. I realize that not everybody has that. But let's be clear, that's not their job. And they have their own thoughts and feelings, and they may not understand, and they may not want to understand. And they may want to support you, and they may not want to support you. And while it's really nice to have, it's not a given. It's just not. And sometimes it's just a roll of the dice. Yes, some people get it, some people don't. And what coaching does, when you have a coach, you have somebody who is 100% in your corner, supporting you, providing that feedback, providing that space to allow you to get clear on what you're thinking and what you're feeling, and to process all of that, and then to help you decide what you want to think intentionally. All of our work is around what's going on in your brain. And it's not so much about the action until we've cleared up what you're thinking and what you're feeling. And then you are able to intentionally and deliberately choose what you want to think and what you want to feel in order to drive those actions and create those results. And as a coach, I am here to support you, but I am not attached to any outcome. So we will talk through your options. We will talk through your thoughts. We will talk through your decisions. But of course, I want you to be well and I want you to be safe, but I'm not committed or interested or have a stake in any of your decisions, which is not necessarily the same for someone who is in your life. And that's not their fault. It's just being human. So if you want that space to talk things through, to get some clarity, to be intentional and get that perspective, then coaching may be for you. And I would be honored to be your coach. The best way you can find out is to sign up for a free coaching session. The link is in the show notes. I would love to meet you. I would love to see you there. And I would love to coach you. So feel free, check it out. It's a great investment. There's zero risk. And I think it's a lot of fun. So I hope to see you there. All right. So let's dive into episode 140. And have you ever had someone hurt you? This could be a friend, a colleague, maybe even a boss. And sometime later, let's say a year later, you still feel it. So maybe you see their name pop up or drive by their business or hear about their success, and you feel that sting in your chest. And you tell yourself you should be over it by now, but you're not. You still feel wronged. You still feel a little jealous. You still feel like it shouldn't have happened that way. And if that's you, then you're going to want to listen up because you're in the right place. I'm going to talk about something that most of us don't realize we're doing, something that quietly keeps us stuck, small, and resentful a long time after an event has passed. We use other people against ourselves. We take someone else's actions, their success, their beauty, their choices, and we make them mean something terrible about us. But I'm going to show you how to stop doing that. Because when you stop using someone else as a weapon against yourself, you reclaim every ounce of your peace, your power, and your potential. So I'm going to tell you another story about a coaching conversation I had recently. My client had been fired from a job, but it wasn't just any job. It was working for a friend, someone she had admired, someone she had trusted. And she'd been there for a while, doing great work. And one day she got a long text message out of nowhere listing all the reasons why she was being let go. And she was crushed. And when we spoke, this is a year later. This is a year after she had been fired. And she still felt hurt and angry. She'd drive by the business and feel her stomach drop. She found herself scrolling through social media and seeing how her friend's business had become successful and hating it. And then she'd hate herself for feeling that way. She knew that it felt awful, but she said part of her wanted her friend to fail. And she cried and she was upset. And she didn't want to feel like that. She didn't want to continue to feel that way about her friend or the business. She didn't like it. And more importantly, she didn't like who she had become when she thought about it. But she also felt that she couldn't get past it. And so maybe you can relate in some way. You know that something's off, but every time you try to move on, you still feel that little ache. And you think about how they did it and what they said and what they should have done differently, which is normal. But it's not so much what they did that's causing your pain. It's what you're thinking about what they did. And here's how that works. There are circumstances, right? Things happen. They're neutral. You could prove them in a court of law. They are facts. And in this instance, the circumstance was simple. She got fired via text message. That's a fact, right? She could show you the text message. Then she had a thought, right? Her brain interpreted that text message as a problem, saying she shouldn't have done it that way. And that thought created a feeling, right? Maybe hurt, rejection, jealousy. And from that feeling, she took actions. She was replaying it in her head. She was comparing herself. She was feeling small. She was avoiding the place. She was ruminating. And the result was that she stayed stuck. She kept giving this other woman power over her peace. And that's how basically every situation works, every single time. It's not the circumstance that hurts you. It's your thoughts about it that do. Now, that doesn't mean you jump straight into pretending that it's fine. I'm not saying everything should be rainbows and daisies, but you want to have that awareness. We don't want to bypass the emotion or swap thoughts and be all positive and move you right out of pain, because that's not helpful either. But it's about understanding that you are the one creating it, not her, right? We always think this other person did this to us. And here's where it gets even more interesting. She didn't just have thoughts like, she shouldn't have fired me. She was also having thoughts like, she's better than me, she's more successful, she's prettier, she makes more money. And suddenly the story wasn't about a firing anymore, it was about worth. And that's what our brains do. They take one event and turn it into evidence that we're not enough. We're not good enough. We're not worthy enough. We're not pretty enough. We're not smart enough. We're not successful enough. We're not rich enough. And this is a concept that I like to teach that I got from the life coach school called the manual. We all have manuals for how other people should behave, how they should talk to us, how they should end things, how they should treat us. And when they don't follow the manual, which mostly they don't, we suffer. But the truth is, they were never meant to follow our manual. They were always just doing what people do, being human, messy, imperfect, sometimes inconsiderate. And when we argue with reality, when we argue with that reality, that they shouldn't be that way, we lose every single time. And we land up expending a lot of energy and wasting a lot of time arguing that it shouldn't be like that and it's not fair. But here's the sneakiest part of all this. Most of the thoughts that hurt us aren't even negative about the other person. They can be positive. She's prettier than me. She's smarter than me. She's more successful. She's richer. Those are compliments about her. But when you turn them inward, they become weapons, right? There's this compare and despair. You start making her success the evidence of your failure, her beauty the evidence of your lack, her confidence the evidence of your weakness. And you use her against yourself. And here's what I told my client. It's not about actually disliking her. You dislike how you feel when you think about her. Isn't that wild? When we're jealous, resentful, or bitter, it's not because someone else did something terrible. It's because of what we're making it mean about us. But that's actually good news because you have the power to change it. And I want to say something here about parents and fairness because this has come up quite regularly in coaching sessions as well. This pattern isn't just showing up with friends and coworkers, but for many of us, it started a long time ago with our parents. And I'm coaching a lot of women in their 50s and 60s who are still carrying pain from what they didn't get growing up: love, attention, safety, security. They'll say, it's not fair. My parents should have been different. They should have loved me better. They should have been there for me. I shouldn't have had to do this. And they're right. It wasn't fair. It just wasn't. But here's what happens when we keep repeating that thought decades later. We keep giving those old moments all of our power. And we keep using our parents against ourselves and our childhood against ourselves. We keep proving that life was unfair then, and we keep living as if it's still unfair now. And we treat it like we have no control over it, right? It's followed us. But what if life was never meant to be fair? I'm pretty sure I heard that a few times growing up. What if it was meant to be yours? Your childhood, your curriculum, your lessons, the exact experiences that would grow you into who you are becoming or who you became. It happened exactly the way it was supposed to because it did. And when you can see it that way, you stop needing to rewrite the past and you start reclaiming your present and owning your story and owning your power. You give up that resistance and stop fighting it and using all of that time and energy. So, what do? We don't start by jumping into happy thoughts. We start by making peace with the ones we already have. You can start with, she's prettier than me, and that's okay. She's more successful, and that's okay. She makes more money, and that's okay. Not in resignation, but in acceptance. Because when you stop resisting the truth, you stop needing to compensate for it. You stop scrambling to prove you're enough. You stop comparing and despairing and hustling and chasing worthiness. You realize it was never about her. And when you can sit in that truth without needing to be better or prettier or more successful, you find something incredible underneath it all. And that's peace. And you let go and you release it. And from that peace, you gain the power to choose new thoughts, to decide who you want to be now, to rewrite the story. Not because you need to feel better about her, but because you deserve to feel better about you. And listen, here's what happens when you don't do this work. You stay emotionally entangled with someone who isn't even in your life anymore. You carry their name, their choices, and their success around like heavy baggage. You keep proving in your mind that you're not enough. But when you do this work, everything changes. You reclaim your emotional authority. You start to admire others without comparing yourself. And you stop needing to prove your value. And eventually you can look back and think, they were part of my curriculum. They taught me what I needed to learn. I've become the woman I am today because of this, and I am stronger for it. And that's freedom. That's ease. That's peace. So let me ask you, what are you still using against yourself? Who's still living rent-free in your mind proving your not enoughness. And what would it feel like to finally let that go? Because if you don't, this could go on for your entire life. I've seen it decades and decades later. You're still dragging this past behind you. And this is the work that I do with my clients. So I want to go back and personally invite you to book a free one-on-one coaching session with me. Again, this is not going to be a chat. This is a powerful hour that will change the way you see yourself and your life forever. And in that hour, I'll help you to find the thought that's keeping you stuck, and we'll untangle it completely. You'll walk away seeing exactly why you feel the way you do and how you can start to change it. How you start to do this daily work to manage your mind and process your emotions. And you'll never see things the same way again. So if you've been carrying around an old story of not being enough, of someone else's success meaning something about you, let's end that today. Go to the show notes, book your free session. Don't wait for more time to pass, because it will. And you'll land up years from now still feeling the same way, still repeating the same patterns. Healing doesn't come with time. It comes with awareness. It comes with doing the work. And we can do this work together. Because when you stop using someone else against yourself, you finally become you, powerful, whole, and free. That's the work that we do. So book that session. I'll see you there. Have a great week, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.